Good afternoon, everyone. So our keynote, the second keynote is about to start, and it's about redefining the AI economy 3.0 with proof of attributed intelligence by Zhang. She's from Kite AI. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Okay, let's get started. Hi, everyone. This is Chi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kite AI. And Kite AI, so you see on the wait. Actually, let's go to the next one. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. As you see, the title, what we are building is the first purpose-built modular layer 1 for AI. And the reason is we really trying to solve for or build the backbone for the future of AI economy with the core new consensus mechanism, what we call proof of attributed intelligence. And we can dive into more details about why we're building this and how we are solving this, what we call the proof of AI consensus. Yeah, just a very quick intro of our team. So I'm the co-founder and CEO and come from the AI background. Spent over the decades in the past basically on focusing on AI and data. So I did my PhD from UC Berkeley, focused on machine learning and causal inference, more now called explainable AI. And then was a founding member at a automated machine learning platform company at the time, actually before GenAI is a thing. So at the time, it's more about the predictive analytics and machine learning platform. And then went to Databricks, lead product management for data engineering product, and then Kite. So my co-founders guy is engineering committee chair, was an engineering committee chair at Uber, and overseeing a lot of the large-scale infrastructure design internally, including both internal scale AI, which is actually now, hopefully everybody knows, is the biggest data labeling companies in the world, and then also like the internal Uber Mechangelo, which is the AI platform. And the team also come from the blockchain background. Both Lei and Vic was the head of BD and head of ecosystem infra at Near before. And yeah, we just came from the AI background. So actually, I saw a few advisors, professors that we work very closely today as well. Like Shiram professor is, yeah, here we work closely on the consensus mechanism and everything. So we started the journey in 2022. And since then, we work with a lot of Web3 and Web2 partners and customers because this is mainly about the ETH Denver. So some of the Web3 partners and customers we work with are listed here. For example, Sui has been a very close partner that we help them on a lot of the data infra and some of the indexing piece in the past, and they help us now on some of the decentralized storage for solving some of the like AI model output type of storage problems we need, and also data storage. So now it goes back to why we're building Kite for the purpose layer 1 designed for AI. Basically, we consider there's something that's really broken in the current AI economy, which is the monetization piece. Because we recognize that a lot of people are contributing a lot in the AI ecosystem, such as the open source model, and there's tons of data has been used in the market. So that's why people probably from the AI space will know it's like a Hugging Face, Replit of the word. However, the developers were people who uploaded and contributed in this process not getting anything. So one fun fact is actually, not a fun fact, actually a sad fact. One of our friends was was actually the creator of a very popular model that's similar, actually 10 times better at the time compared to the Stable Diffusion V2. And they uploaded it to Hugging Face and then got millions of downloads. However, they didn't get anything, and some other companies actually used the open source model and wrapped that, and the provider and manager service raised the 20 million from top Silicon Valley investors, and that's actually the fact what is happening. So that's why incentive as Hugging Face to us is super, super important now to help the AI of the world to really fix this monetization and the incentive problem. And of course, from the Web3 manner, how to build a vibrant ecosystem, especially leveraging the best of the crypto side, especially on the DeFi and tokenization side, is very important. So that's why we are also building the DeFi ecosystem on top of that, sitting on top of those like AI resources, what we call the subnet, like a data subnet, model subnet, agent subnet, that are now onboarding to our layer 1. So some of the challenges that we observed in this AI current, especially Gen AI, progress is one. There's still a lot of so what blockers people to have the massive AI adoption. So we definitely can talk about the cost. We could definitely talk about some of the performance and everything, especially infra performance, the speed and everything. But more importantly, now given that we see DeepSeek, for example, is driving down the price a lot. The inference now is like 30 times less than the other solutions. What is the remaining challenges in the markets right now? So one is still like the some of the performance issues when it comes to accuracy, when it comes to hallucination, is still remaining as a problem, and to a lot of enterprise, a lot of high stakes scenarios when it comes to, for example, financial suggestion, when it comes to like a healthcare suggestion. That's all require a lot of it's very high standard, for high bar in terms of like the performance. So that's still one thing. And then the rest of the two is briefly what we chatted before. So lack of incentive is definitely one thing. A lot of people now start uploading or stop uploading or contributing their models / data in the space. Actually, this is what you see the trend with this chart. What is showing is if you look at the dark red, the dark red section, that is the section says full restriction. So what does that mean is a lot of those data and open source software are taking back their license from being accessible to the market. Why? Because they start recognizing people are exploring that, or not people, but some of the big companies and centralized organizations are doing that. So it's actually dropped. It's actually increased. This restriction increased from almost 0% to now, by the end of this year, probably 40%. So then that's the problem. And the lack of transparency, which is the second one, is something related to now a lot of people. I remember we talked to a lot of Fortune 100 company. And their comment, at least the last year, was no data go outside of the company. What does that mean is there's no way they're going to use closed source the models such as OpenAI or Anthropic Cloud to do the important services for them, because all their data is, they're worried that those companies will keep that internally, and then it's losing control in the process. So with all those problems in mind, then what is we are trying to solve is actually leveraging blockchain and crypto as a good technology and instrument to solve the second and third problem we talked about, which is the lack of incentive and lack of transparency. How we can use pure AI as an algorithm as a solution to solve that. So first of all, why do we need a new consensus mechanism called pure AI? Why not using just a proof of staking or proof of work? Of course, like now, I think most of the EVM solutions are like proof of staking. The reason is, if you think about what is the real proof of staking is doing here with Ethereum is all the validators will do the same thing, and they all earn the same amount up to 22 ETH per year, which right now the number is about 1 million validators earn about 4 billion rewards per year, which means everybody earns about $4,000 per year. In that case, they're exactly doing the same thing. Then is that the efficient way? Is that the right way to do with AI workloads? Because for AI workloads, what we need is people to really validate or verify the accuracy of the AI output while keep the efficiency. Because a lot of times the AI workload can be very, very computational intensive, unlike the traditional blockchain calculation. So how can we balance the verification while the efficiency in the process is why we consider pure AI is such an important thing. Because there's two things we need to do. One is we need to track the attribution. What does the attribution mean here is think about model is actually built on top of data, and the agent is built on top of model and data. So in that case, if your model, my model is built on top of three of your people's contributed data in the process, and someone take my model to build another agent to specialized for, like, say, for example, like investment or some other things. Then how do you have those attribution of the ownership in the process, and second, the contribution, right? Because in the end, if we want to vision the world of the future of AI is people can collaboratively work and contribute to the final AI solution, so that in return they got part of the reward, part of the revenue generated when those final AI solutions has been adopted and monetized in the production environment. So that's why the attribution part is so important. And then goes back to also like the rewards part. So now you track the attribution. How do you really pay people back? That is another thing we consider blockchain and crypto solution is super great, because the payment rails such as stablecoin is such a great solution for handling those real time and like a high frequency, low, micro fraction payments. So this is just a very high-level overview of the architecture. What does that look like? Because first of all, we definitely consider modular blockchain is a better way to design this, because that gives you a lot of flexibility to customize things on top of like each layer. And so that's why we talked about briefly the consensus mechanism that's needed to really help optimize for the AI workload. However, the consensus mechanism itself is not good enough, because if you look at the execution layer, for example, when it comes to, and also like the settlement, especially, and also like the data availability layer, there's a lot of new, like for example, opcode that we need to design for AI native data, bake into those AI native workloads with a new data structures that's stored, such as the AI, for example, like the payload, LLM quest, and some of the things we talked about attribution, right? Because it's not, again, like the traditional blockchain that you just have from which address to which address with what amount. But now with the attribution baked into that, maybe it's from multiple addresses to multiple addresses. And then with all those different a feature or use cases we want to support, then there's a lot of new design or new data structure we need to introduce to the execution and data availability layer as well. Yeah, this is just a very briefly show. So this is also like a zoom. Actually, if we zoom out a bit, and then you will see that in order to support what we are saying here, a lot of things are not just the on-chain piece, which is actually the right side of the blockchain module. There are some off-chain piece that need to be done to support this proof of attributed intelligence process as well. For example, like for very computational heavy computation, we do need to put that off-chain and have that being. But with, for example, like the hash, push the on-chain, recorded the data hash whenever the data has been transformed or been changed in the process, and so on and so forth. So that is a holistic architecture, what it should be looking like to support what we are building. And this is also like from a more ecosystem perspective to look at what we are providing as architecture. That the layer one chain itself is sitting underlying, which is what we talked about, this customized, purpose-built infrastructure to power the the AI use cases. And on top of that, what we consider the very important AI resources in this process, or at least for the beginning of design of our ecosystem, we want to be focusing on data, model, and agent. I know a lot of people will ask, usually, why not focusing on compute or GPU? We are going to use them, but to us, we consider it's more like a commodity, and also a lot of other projects are building. So we want to be really focusing on providing those very high quality and onboarding all those high quality AI, ingredients to build, that is necessary to build the future of AI models or agent. And to be honest, maybe because my background, I spend a lot of time in making the adoption of AI in industry and see what's the blocker. In this case, for example, we consider data is extremely important, because in the end, it's how model is performed and intelligent in some way. It's a lot of times depend on the quality and the unique patterns included in the data. So that's why we want to really focus on these three ingredients. And then on top of that is the proof of AI mechanism that's really help empowering this developers who have the way to programmably configure some of the smart contract about what is the attribute, what's the rewards flow look like, how much percentage goes into which contributors type of thing in this process. And of course, developers will have very easy to use SDK developer tools to integrate it and deploy on top of our blockchain. So this is a way to this is a example where a way to show to the more AI people, or the real user and real AI developers, that's less from the crypto side. Then, as you can see here, what does that basically mean is there's some data providers like Codata that they can provide unique data, or the data. They are actually in this way, think about there as a decentralized scale AI. They collect a lot of data from different resources, especially focus on those highly special knowledge data, like the patient cancer image data and pathology data, so on and so forth. And UC Berkeley, in this case, by the way, this is a real use case. That's why we showed it here. UC Berkeley is more like the developers, AI researchers who know how to develop and customized, specialized models on top of foundation models. And then there's some infrastructure company provided. That actually could be like a GPU, right? Like a GPU cloud, like Together AI, or in Web3, there's a bunch of other companies after Hyperbolic, all can provide that. And then they work together to provide the necessary resources. And in this process, the attribution and contribution is all tracked and cryptographically recorded on chain. So that's in return, in the future, look at the right side, is the revenue can actually be converted and distributed back to those relevant contributors with proportions that they contributed. And that's also why, again, we consider crypto payments is such a great tool underlying as a real. So this is a very quick overview, or just a screenshot of how the platform or a marketplace should look like if we look at how, because underlying is a chain. So chain itself, if a developer, you only look at code and, have a SDK to deploy. But once it's been deployed, what that should look like is a marketplace with all those different assets from data to model to agent sit on top. And then you can choose to use them. And of course, in the process, you need to figure out there's going to be payment. And you can either choose to pay them upfront, or you can bake them into the final revenue model, because you say, oh, actually, maybe I don't have time at the moment to pay you for what I cannot afford it, but once it's being monetized, I will pay you the portion. So this is just a very quick overview of some of the status we got over the past 2 weeks. We launched our testnet about 2.5 weeks ago, testnet V1. Very glad that the community was very excited, and we actually, now the new status is about 2.2 million wallets, and we have about yeah, probably, I don't know even how many AI agent interactions now, but every day we have about 3 to 4 million AI agent interactions at the moment. So if you guys are interested about what we are building, please join us and following us. And if you are building anything in the AI space, no matter is like the model or agent, no matter which vertical you come from, like you're building financial things or like healthcare things or DeSci things, come to talk to us. Happy to collaborate. Thank you.